The animation begins with a turkey named Reggie. At that time, he's always on edge because humans like to eat turkey, especially during Thanksgiving. Reggie tries to warn the other turkeys about this, but they never listen. They trust humans and think farmers are their pals. Reggie feels left out because he sees things differently. One day, some important visitors come to the farm, and it was the president and his daughter. Then, Reggie tells the turkeys to escape when the cage opens, but they ignore him and get tossed out. Unfortunately, Reggie gets caught by the president's daughter. But turns out, she doesn't want to eat him. She wants him as a pet. From then on, Reggie's life gets super fancy. He moves to the president's house and gets treated like royalty. He even learns to order pizza on the president's phone without anyone suspecting a thing. But then, one night, Reggie got kidnapped by a wild turkey named Jake. Jake said he wanted to free all turkeys and took Reggie on a mission. They went through the forest to a secret military base where there was a time machine. Jake wanted to go back to the first Thanksgiving and stop turkeys from being eaten. At first, Reggie didn't trust Jake. He didn't see any machines at first, but then he accidentally found a hidden room with the time machine. In the secret room, they saw soldiers and the president trying out the time machine. After exploring around, Reggie and Jake were spotted by guards. They had to run away until they found the place where a time machine was working. Then, a voice from the machine talked to them, telling them they could choose where and when to go. Jake quickly said he wanted to go to America in November 1621, just before the first Thanksgiving. When they arrived in that time, they were met by a group of hunters led by Captain Standish. Luckily, they were saved by a bunch of turkeys led by Ranger. But the hunters kept coming after them, trying to catch the turkeys. Soon after, 2 turkeys got caught in the chase. There, Ranger suggested finding a new safe place for everyone, but Jake didn't agree. He wanted to fight back and save the turkeys. Ranger got mad because Jake didn't want to leave his group, and Jake got mad because Ranger wanted to leave. So, they ended up fighting. Meanwhile, in a faraway town, people were suffering from a lack of food. They went to their mayor and demanded immediate action. The mayor promised to solve the problem in 3 days, even though they didn't have much food. At the same time, Standish arrived with only 2 turkeys, making things worse. The people demanded access to the food warehouse, but the mayor refused and told Standish to catch more turkeys. The next day, Ranger took Jake and Reggie to the turkeys' secret home. Reggie was surprised to see how the turkeys there lived independently, unlike the ones in the future who relied on humans for food and ended up becoming food themselves. Later, a female turkey named Jenny was amazed by a story Reggie told. Soon after, Jake arrived with a mission to save all turkeys from becoming food for humans and, if necessary, to fight against humans. But Chief Broadbeak, the leader of the turkeys, disagreed strongly. He didn't want to fight humans because he feared it would ruin the safe home they had built and harm the future of the young turkey chicks who needed parental care. Meanwhile, Captain Standish and his hunters were planning to catch turkeys. Standish noticed that the turkeys always led them into the forest, away from something. So, he decided to explore different areas and set traps, hoping to catch them in a new way. After that, Standish split the tasks among different teams to hunt for food. He sent Jenny and Reggie to check out the area around where the turkeys lived secretly. But all the traps they found were accidentally destroyed by Reggie in a weird way. Meanwhile, Ranger and Jake were still busy arguing about who should lead the hunting team. As Reggie and Jenny finished wrecking the traps, some hunting dogs suddenly showed up. Luckily, they weren't far from the time machine. Soon after, Reggie quickly pulled Jenny to hide in the time machine, but Standish saw them. Reggie then made the time machine fly away into outer space, escaping Standish's grasp. Being there, Jenny realized that the place she had been standing was bigger, more beautiful, and wider than she ever imagined. After reaching safety, Reggie took Jenny back home. Jenny learned that the time machine was fully charged and ready to take her back to the future. But Reggie wasn't ready to leave yet. At that time, he was starting to like being there. Jenny also seemed to have feelings for Reggie. Meanwhile, Ranger and Jake explored the city. They stumbled upon the mayor and some residents getting ready for Thanksgiving the next day. Soon after, Jake spotted hunters preparing explosives in a warehouse. Then, he hurried home to get Reggie's help to stop them from catching turkeys for Thanksgiving dinner. At that time, Jake planned to use the hunters' own explosives against them. He was confident they could do it with Reggie's smarts and strength. When they got to the city, Reggie distracted the hunting dogs with the president's remote he had accidentally brought along. Then he let Jake in and led some guards away from the armory. At that moment, they needed to gather all the barrels of gunpowder to blow up the arsenal. Once they collected everything, Jake freed the turkeys trapped in the hunter's cart. After successfully setting the fuse in the gunpowder barrel, Jake took Standish's horn as a souvenir to prove their mission was a success. But the horn had gunpowder on it and leaked, leaving a trail that could lead to the turkeys' secret home. When Jake and Reggie returned, the turkeys greeted them, knowing they had succeeded. Jake also showed off his skills in front of all the turkeys. Meanwhile, Standish, knowing the turkeys' habits, lit the gunpowder without hesitation to find their home. He then brought hungry people to catch the turkeys, even willing to burn down the area to get them. Amidst the chaos, Jenny, Reggie, and Jake returned to save the baby turkeys. At that time, Chief Broadbeak risked his life holding back the fire to help. Sadly, more than half of the turkeys were captured, but some managed to escape through water. After Chief Broadbeak left, Jenny, his daughter, stepped up to lead the turkeys. She didn't blame Jake or Reggie for what happened. Instead, she stood strong and encouraged the turkeys to fight and save their friends from humans. Reggie felt guilty and decided to go back to the future, even without Jake. When Reggie returned home, he was surprised to see another version of himself from a different future. This other Reggie told him that going back was a mistake. He should have stayed in the past to finish what he started because there were valuable lessons to learn and use for his present and future. He learns that the past is something that's already happened, and he doesn't have to dwell on it too much. He can just glance back to learn from it, so he don't make the same mistakes in the present and future. But don't regret what's happened because our lives wouldn't be as colorful without the past shaping us. In life, we learn from both good and bad experiences, using them to grow as people. In the story, Jenny led Ranger, Jake, and all the turkeys to fight together in the past. With courage, spears, and a simple plan, they bravely attacked the human city. The hunters were ready, using cannons against them. Luckily, Reggie arrived just in time from the future and stopped the cannonball. The energy from his time machine sucked up metal objects, including Standish, who tried to attack Jenny with a cannon. Reggie then came with a box of pizza, introducing it to the people of the past, including the Indian tribes nearby. Thanks to Reggie's idea, the turkeys were saved, and pizza replaced turkey on the Thanksgiving menu. The animation ends. The moral lesson from this animation is if you're gonna time travel to save turkeys, bring pizza, not cannons. After all, a slice of pizza can solve more problems than a turkey ever could.